Welcome back to my comic book channel, everyone. Almost a century ago, he was considered the greatest superhero to ever appear in pulp magazines, comic books, radio, and eventually TV movies back in the 1930s and 40s. He was the inspiration for some of the greatest comic book heroes, from Superman, Batman, Flash, and all other superheroes you may have seen on the big screen, from X-Men to Avengers. Clark Doc Savage is the most famous superhero you've probably never heard of. He was created by publisher Henry Ralston and editor John Nanovic from Street and Smith Publications, although most of the main writing was by a gentleman by the name of Lester Dent, pictured below. Doc Savage had spanned several decades in publications until Marvel Comics retained the rights in the early 70s. In 1972, Marvel did a total of 8 issues, with Banner the Werewolf being the last of the original adaptations and also my favorite. The Marvel artwork for both the Banner the Werewolf and Werewolf's Lair were done by Ross Andru, Frank Springer, Rich Buckler, and others, and had some of the best art and story work for the entire Marvel Doc Savage comic book series. On a frigidly cold winter night in the estate of Alex Savage walks a strange man cursing at the full moon as he transforms into a werewolf as imminent death ensues. The werewolf has tailed Alex Savage driving in his car, where he picks up a stone and hurls it through the glass, allowing him entrance into the car, where he immediately kills him. At the headquarters in New York, Doc receives a distressed call from his cousin Pat Savage, who reports that Doc's uncle has just been murdered by some sort of a werewolf. Doc and a few of his assistants first board his state-of-the-art helicopter, at least for 1933, and then board a train heading to Canada's Northwest Wilderness to investigate his uncle's murder, only to receive a suspicious telegram demanding that he turn back, which he and his team later determined to be a fake. While on the train, they overhear a damning conversation by the El Rambanos gang, which prompts the team to secretly break into their quarters for potential clues. They are then surprised by a sleeping gas agent that is activated while the door is broken into, are barely able to escape its effects by merely opening a window, only to discover the imprint of a werewolf's face on one of the windows of the Rambanos quarter, which could be a potential clue in the death of Doc's uncle. After the train comes to a screeching halt due to the wooden logs being thrown into the middle of the railroad tracks, Doc and his team immediately pursue the Rambanos that have just vacated the train. While pursuing the gangsters in the dense forest, a sniper immediately opens fire on Doc, where he's able to easily avoid the bullets due to his unique athletic skills. He then engages the trio of thugs in a fist fight after their rifles become clogged with snow. Doc is easily able to overwhelm the 3 thugs while obtaining a few more clues about who could have been responsible for his uncle's death. While awaiting the arrival of Doc Savage, his cousin Pat Savage, staying at her late father's homestead along with her trusted friend Boatface and his wife, immediately hear the same howl of the werewolf that killed her father. With the same bravado as her cousin Doc Savage, she decides to pursue the werewolf with a rifle in hand. Note, she's an expert marksman and tracker while having the intellect that can only be matched by Doc. With no such luck, she returns home only to find her companions knocked out by sleeping gas and her father's log cabin ransacked. She suspects that the intruders were looking for a mysterious cube located in a hidden center post previously discovered by her father that contains the brand of the werewolf, totally unaware that Boatface is actually looking on while he pretends to be asleep. That night, while Pat Savage sleeps, Boatface secretly takes the hidden cube from its hidden location with the intent of getting rich by selling it for gold. Thinking his buyer of the cube is a man, Boatface races into the darkness of night only to be met by the same werewolf that killed Alex Savage, who ends up being the anonymous buyer. Boatface decides to increase his originally proposed $100 selling price to $1,000 plus, which angers the werewolf and leads to his ultimate demise. As he makes his way toward his uncle's cabin, he discovers more clues that lead him to believe that his cousin Pat Savage was kidnapped. He ventures out into the wilderness in search of Pat, and the first part of the story ends in a literal cliffhanger. He discovers footprints that end near a great waterfall over a dangerous cliff. He notices a cable from above that could get him to the other side of the waterfall and attempts to walk across, knowing that the fall could be several hundred feet if he does not make it. As he tiptoes his way across the tightrope, gunshots rain out, making him lose his balance, which is where the first half of the story ends. Part 2 will be in a separate video that covers the Marvel Comics issue number 8, which happens to be the last Doc Savage comic book for the year 1972. Please like and subscribe to our channel if you like what you see, and we do accept donations in the form of cryptocurrency. Now, a very inexpensive way to donate to the channel is to simply download the Brave browser, which pays you for your viewing habits in cryptocurrency, and we do get a small referral fee for every download. Thanks for watching.